Hello and welcome back to Digital Assets Daily. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in your corner of the world. Tonight I wanted to get into a few articles as there is a lot of exciting news happening right now. With the SEC commissioner having a new proposal, basically offering lenience on digital assets and cryptos such as the XRPs. And this is my opinion of the world because that's what we focus on here. It is our favorite. Obviously, you know this if you've been around a while. If you're new to this channel, pretty much on this channel what we talk about is XRP. You'll hear XLM. We talk about VeChain. We talk about PundiX. We talk about Holochain. And randomly other digital assets as well, but those are the favorites of this specific channel. Obviously, XRP being number one because not only as an investor, but as the disruptor and the technology that is unbelievable. We appreciate that side as well, as we have spent time in the IT career here. But we love, as an investor, it is also impressive. But for the new people, what we're going to discuss are a few articles that I believe make today's news even more impressive. With the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, at the beginning of this year, effective January 1st, 2020, until January 1st, 2021, the agency finalized changes to simplify the Volcker rule. We've discussed this before, but for the new people, I want to go through this article again, just so that you can be aware as you are new to the industry and to this channel. The 5 federal financial regulatory agencies announced they were going to revise and simplify the compliance requirements relating to the Volcker rule. By statute, the Volcker rule generally prohibits banking entities from engaging in proprietary trading or investing in or sponsoring hedge funds or private equity funds. So this year they're giving the flexibility, the leniency on the Volcker rule for basically a 12-month period. The reason, to me, all of this is very interesting because if you've been around a while, you understand there is, I call it silly, like a silly lawsuit in regards to Ripple. An investor was stating, lost money, that XRP was a security when he purchased it. No need to go into that. In my opinion, it's really irrelevant. It's not, in my opinion, again, it's not going to be listed that way, but the whole point, this article here, just to make reference for new people, Ripple R3 settles the $1 billion blockchain dispute. I'm sorry, this is the R3. That was another actual good thing. Without pulling it up, there is I just realized I grabbed the wrong article, but there is a lawsuit, as I mentioned, where someone's trying to sue Ripple for XRP being a security. That's where the Volcker rule, in my opinion, connect because it's coming from the SEC. And then today's news, which we're about to get into, might as well pull this article up since we have it available to you. There was another article or another lawsuit with Ripple and R3. They were in litigation over a dispute up to $18.3 billion to R3 to at the peak cryptocurrency valuations. The dispute between the two was settled, and R3 Corda is using or is partnering with Ripple and using XRP. And that was another concern of the past few days. I can't find the article, as I've mentioned before, and a few other people, other content providers are doing kind of the same thing. Even Bearable Bull and I were mentioning that on Twitter, how he had heard the same thing, that R3 was going to be going live with Corda, or I'm sorry, Swift was going to go live with R3 using Corda Saddler, which uses XRP, but we couldn't seem to find the article that actually stated that to share, as we'd both seen it and a few other content providers from Twitter had mentioned in agreement as well. Excuse me. My apologies. I want to get into the next article here. I believe is very massive if you are an investor in XRP. In my opinion, this shuts down all of the concern of XRP. Is it a commodity? Is it a security? Is it a currency? The SEC commissioner now proposes a safe harbor for projects that raise funds to build decentralized networks. Let's get into this article, because I was extremely excited as an investor, knowing that this would be a great deal of setting off the like Ripple, enabling them to be able to push XRP on a broader scale. Because once this is clarity and has its global acknowledgement on this issue, then I believe that XRP is just going to launch to the moon. I believe it's going to take off running literally and just breeze through all of these resistance levels. Because, I mean, honestly, what else is there to hold it back? We've had speculation bull runs, and it reached a peak of $3.84. And then we've had other altcoins launch, and again during spec runs. This time, I believe there probably will be some speculation into the next bull run, but you're going to also have utility, which is going to, I say, stabilize it as it takes off without having the major drops. Of course, we're going to have leveling off and stabilizing moments, but I believe once it takes off, it's going to be held there because it has use case. And then I believe once we start moving, then you're going to have people FOMOing in. So I call it like the trilogy, where it's just going to get pounded by all three of those at the same time and give it like more fuel. All right, back into this article. The projects that qualify would get a 3-year window to achieve sufficient decentralization. In a speech in Chicago today, the SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce unveiled a proposal to create a regulatory safe harbor for projects that raise funds in order to build decentralized unknown networks. This is a very sensible approach that would meet the government's interest in investor protection while giving project developers the much needed clarity. The problem has been well understood. If you raise funds by selling promises of tokens on a decentralized network that you plan to build, that's pretty clearly a securities offering, and you're obliged to comply with the applicable rules. For example, you could take a Regulation D exemption. So far, so good, but what happens when you build the network and deliver tokens on it to investors? Are those tokens themselves securities? On the day your network launches, is it sufficiently decentralized so that token holders are not relying on your efforts for the network's functionality and the value of their tokens? Commissioner Peirce's proposal addresses this uncertainty elegantly. As long as you follow the rules that apply to the initial fundraising, such as complying with the restrictions of a Regulation D exemption, you will have 3 years during which the SEC will forbear from applying the registration and trading provisions of the securities laws. The grace period gives otherwise compliant developers time to build a functional, decentralized network and grow participation in it to the point that the network is not reliant on their continued efforts. To qualify for the safe harbor, however, you will have to show that you are indeed building an open source, permissionless network and make other relevant disclosures. And right there in that last sentence, doesn't that physically describe XRP? This is a win-win-win-win. Developers can fundraise with the knowledge that as long as they follow the rules, they can legally deliver tokens on a decentralized network. Regulators can be sure that the appropriate disclosures and restrictions are applied in the interest of investor protection, and investors benefit from those disclosures and protections. And perhaps most importantly, the public will benefit from the development of new, unowned, permissionless networks. Public goods that could now be privately developed more easily. I believe this is exciting and something that has been needed for a while now. Something to put an end to all of the uncertainty, the lack of clarity that we've had. There's so many good projects out there. And of course I'm biased, but XRP will work with many of them. And I think this gives all of them a chance to take off because there's going to have clarity, at least for 3 years. So I'm very excited. And again, guys, I want to finish this off with results happen over time, not overnight. Work hard, stay consistent, and be patient. Our time is coming, and it is very close. So buckle up and hold on. It's going to be an exciting 2020. Again, guys, this is not financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only, and we'll catch you in the next one.